Hello, my name is Laura Beth, and I know that most of you know me by now, but this is your gentle flow and deep stretch practice. So I have a couple of blocks here. If you want to grab onto a block, it will be used to support your low back possibly, so you could also use a foam block. It doesn't have to be cork, right? We are going to get started on our backs. If you would like to go ahead and cue up your playlist. I am using the Dangle GW/D. And then allow for your spine to rest down on the earth. Give yourself a moment to get acclimated. And then when it feels comfortable to you to slide your feet out to the side edges of your mat, go ahead and do that. And then knock your knees in together. So it's a collapsed bridge. And then your hands can kind of do whatever feels appropriate to you in this moment. It could be one hand on your low belly, one hand on your heart. And then let your shoulders soften down and away from your ears. And if you feel comfortable closing down your eyes, go ahead and do so. But if that doesn't jive with you, you're going to take a soft gaze to the ceiling just above you, or even towards the tip of your nose. Relax your brows. Relax your jaw. Maybe even wiggle it side to side. Release any tension you might have in there. And take a moment or two to step out of your morning so far, any residual energy from your week. Take a deep breath in and out, all four directions. And exhale through your nose, empty out, let everything go. Inhale, lengthening, getting a little bit bigger, maybe filling up to full capacity. And then exhale, empty out, and release. All right, y'all. With your knees still knocked towards one another, take an inhale. And then exhale, let your left ear come down to the earth. So looking over to the left. And you don't need to press it all the way down to the mat. But just notice kind of what happens. Feel that stretch through the right side of your neck. Relax your shoulders back and down. And then inhale, let your gaze reach back up towards the ceiling, roll to the back of your head. And then exhale, turn your face to the right, let your right ear come down towards the mat. Relax your shoulders. Maybe some stretch through the left side of your neck. Just noticing here if the right ear goes all the way down towards the mat or if it doesn't. And then inhale, come to the back of your skull one more time. And exhale, roll your shoulders back and down and then point your knees back up to the sky so your low back is flat, your feet root down. Inhale here. And then exhale, hug your right knee in towards your chest. Relax your shoulders back and down. So we kind of played around with these same shapes. It was either last week's practice or the week before. We're going to do a little bit of different stuff today, but you could stir your right side one around in your hip socket. Move it around, get some space there. And go in the opposite direction whenever you're ready. And then come right back into center. Inhale here. And then exhale, extend your right leg up to the sky. Give it a little flex. Relax your shoulders back and down. And slowly draw your right leg in. Your hands could come to your right calf, but don't overdo it. It's early in our practice. Just feel it out. And there could be a soft bend to your right knee if you choose. Awesome. Nicely done. Take one more inhale. Maybe you draw your leg in a little bit deeper as you exhale. And then it's a slow release and cross your right ankle over your left knee, your left thigh. Open your arms out to a T as you inhale. And then exhale, drop your knees over to the left for a figure 4 twist and turn your gaze to the right. And you can take your left hand and go ahead and grab onto the outside of your right thigh or just to the opposite side of your right knee. And then slowly press your right knee away from you. You're going to feel more towards the inner right hip. And just breathe into this space here. If this bothers your low back or pinches or pulls, then you're going to just kind of skip it, right? Take one more inhale in this space. Feel your right side body kind of opening here. And then exhale, draw your right knee in towards your torso. So now feeling more in the outer hip. You might even feel a little bit more of the twist happening in your low back. Breathe here. Remember, relax your brows, relax your jaw. And then on your inhale, slowly come back through center. Let your low back root down to the ground. And then exhale, hug your left thigh in towards your chest. Interlace your fingers around your left hamstring and nuzzle your right forearm into your inner thigh. Relax your shoulders back and down. And kind of notice what happens here as you open up through your chest and broaden through your collarbones and find that lift. Or if you do let your shoulders round slightly forward and kind of lift off of the mat, right? Breathe in. Know that you're breathing in. And breathe out. And know that you're breathing out. Take one more inhale here. And then exhale to slowly release your left leg, but cross your right leg completely over the left. So coming into Gomukhasana legs, again, early in your practice, so you're not going to go all in. But there's an internal rotation of your thigh bones so that you open and decompress through your low back. Let your hands come to your knees or to your shins. And then gently draw your thighs in towards your chest. Lengthen your back towards the ground. And then your hands could find your ankles. Relax your shoulders. Then you're actively pressing your feet away from one another so you feel the right outer hip once more. Take one more inhale here. And then exhale to a happy baby. Release, bend your knees, peace fingers to your big toes. And then you kind of rock side to side. Inhale here. And then exhale, let your feet come back down to the ground. If you need to windshield wiper your knees from side to side before moving on, it's here. And let's take that whole thing to the left side. So bring your feet back down to the ground. Your knees point up. Inhale, low back to the mat. Exhale, hug your left knee, your left thigh in towards your chest. You can roll out your left ankle. Breathe here. And then on your exhale, start to spin, or not spin, but stir your left thigh bone around in your hip socket. Create some space there, kind of letting it know that we're going to start to use our body, right? Sending signals to the brain. And once you've gone in both directions, hug your left thigh back in. Inhale. Exhale, press your left foot up to the sky. You can give it a little flex. There could be a baby bend to your left knee. And then you interlace your fingers around your hamstring. Maybe you slide them up to your calf. Draw your leg in. Relax your shoulders back and down. Breathe. All right, take one more inhale. You could come up a little bit higher as you exhale. And then inhale here. Exhale, cross your left ankle over your right knee, your right thigh, and let your left knee just kind of press away. Inhale, open your arms out to a T. And now exhale, drop your knees to the right and turn your face to the left. So moving into that figure 4 spinal twist. Take your right hand to your left thigh, your left knee. Inhale here. And then exhale, it's a gentle press of your left knee away from your torso so you really feel. For me, it's right there at the top of my left hip, the inner hip, somewhat on the low back. All that good stuff. feels quite sticky for me today. There's a lot going on there. I'll take one more inhale. And on the exhale, switch it up. Draw your left knee in towards your chest. Now moving more into the outer left hip. Breathe here. And as you breathe in, you know you're breathing in. And as you breathe out, you know you're breathing out. Gently release your left knee, and then inhale, lift your knees back through center, let your low back root to the ground. And then exhale, hug your right thigh, your right knee in towards your chest, interlace your fingers, nuzzle your left forearm into your left inner thigh, and take a little baby flex to both feet. Relax your shoulders back and down, and breathe. Take one more inhale here. And then exhale, release your fingers from your right hamstring, but cross your left leg completely over the right. Spin your inner thighs towards one another. Bend your knees. And then take your hands to your shins or maybe to your ankles. Draw your thighs in towards your chest. And then actively move your feet away from one another. Taking our time today to warm up, to move into these spaces. Nice, y'all. Take one more inhale. And then exhale, happy baby. Peace fingers to your big toes, knees towards your armpits. Let your thighs kind of go parallel to the ground. And then inhale here through center. And then exhale, rock slightly over to the right and straighten just your right leg. Just a baby stretch. And then inhale, come back to center. Exhale, rock over to the left and maybe straighten your left leg a little bit. You don't have to go all the way. Let's take that 2 more times on each side. Inhale through center. Exhale, rock right. Straighten the right leg to the degree that feels appropriate. Inhale to center. Exhale, rock to the left and lengthen. Last round. Inhale, center. Exhale, rock to the right. Inhale to center. Exhale, rock to the left. Inhale right back to happy baby. And then exhale, release your big toes. Hug your knees in towards your chest and wrap your arms around your shins. And then slide your hands behind your thighs. Let's take spinal rocks and rolls forward and backwards. You'll take about 3, maybe 5 of these, right? Going the whole length of your spine. Keep your low back rounded so it doesn't slap against the mat as you move. And keep your belly pulled in and up. And then on your last one, just rock all the way forward to a seated position. And then take let's start with the left leg out. Bring the sole of your right foot towards your left inner thigh. And then inhale, reach your arms up overhead. Exhale, hinge at your left hip. You could bend your left knee a lot if you choose, or if you need that support right now. If you're feeling anything around your gluteal fold or your kneecap, then that is exactly what you would do, is bend your knee. Relax your shoulders back and away from your ears. Take a deep breath in and out. Now inhale. Let your shoulders come back over your hips. Reach your arms up over your head. On the exhale, let your left hand, your left forearm come down inside your left calf. Inhale, reach your right arm up and over. And this now becomes about a side body bend and less about the hamstring, right? Relax your right shoulder away from your ear. Breathe here and let your right hip stay heavy. Very nicely done, y'all. Relax your brows, your jaw. Breathe here. One more inhale. And then exhale, fold back over your left leg one more time. Relax your shoulders once more. And walk yourself back up. Your shoulders over your hips. Roll them back and down. Now bring your hands behind your hips with your fingertips pointing towards you. Lift your right knee and bring your right foot down onto the floor. And you want your right inner arch roughly where your left knee is, right? Now roll your shoulders back, press down into your palms, and inhale, lift your hips and bring your left toes to the ground. So it's kind of like a modified reverse plank. Roll your shoulders back, your right knee is bent, just lift your hips. Work your triceps a little bit. Take one more inhale, and then exhale, sit yourself down nice and slow. Draw your left foot back. Take your feet about a little bit bigger than hips width distance, and then bring your hands onto your shins. Inhale, roll your heart forward, your shoulders back and down, so you spill your chest in between your legs. And then exhale, rock back, tuck your chin, tuck your tail, navel to your spine, and dome out your upper back. Inhale, slowly come back forward. Let your heart press forward, your collarbones open. And then exhale, rock it back, navel to your spine, dome out your upper back, tuck your chin. Let's take one more. Inhale, round it forward. And exhale, rock it back. Inhale, come into your neutral spine, shoulders back and down. Exhale, extend your right leg long and bring the sole of your left foot in towards your right inner thigh. Just take all of that to the second side. So inhale, reach your arms up overhead. You can bend your right knee. Exhale, fold over. Janu Shirshasana A. Relax your shoulders back. Allow for your heart to pull towards the right ankle. Breathe in. Know that you're breathing in. Breathe out. And know that you're breathing out. Nicely done. And then inhale. Lengthen your spine. Walk yourself back up as you exhale. Inhale, reach your arms out and up. Exhale, drop your right forearm inside your right calf. And then inhale, lift your left arm up and over. And find that side body stretch. Breathe here. Keep your left hip heavy. Maybe you gaze up underneath your left arm. Really reach your fingertips towards the top of your mat. Not necessarily towards your toes, but really just trying to create all of that length in your left side body. Take one more inhale. And then exhale, fold over your right leg once more. Let your chest reach forward. Melt yourself down. And then inhale, lift your gaze. Exhale, walk yourself back up. Now lift your left knee and let your left foot come down to the ground. Slide your left foot slightly forward. Bring your hands behind your hips. Fingertips point towards you. Roll your shoulders back. And then inhale, lift your hips up and press your right toes down to the ground. Press actively into the webbing between your thumb and your forefinger. And take your gaze to the ceiling just above you. Take one more inhale. And then exhale, sit yourself down. Slide your right foot back. Hands come onto your shins. Inhale, rock yourself forward, heart forward. Exhale, rock it back, navel to your spine, dome out your upper back. Inhale, gently press forward. And then exhale, take yourself back. One more round. Inhale, heart forward, shoulders back, lift your chin, lift your gaze. And then exhale, rock it back, tuck your chin, tuck your tail, navel to your spine. Now inhale, come right back onto your sits bones. Cross your feet at your ankles for a moment. That's your exhale. And then inhale, reach your arms out and up. Exhale, twist to the right. Let your left hand find your right outer thigh. Your right hand and arm turn into like a second spine. So press down through the finger pads, roll your shoulders back, lift your chest, lift your gaze to neutral, and then really stack your vertebrae one on top of the other. And then as you exhale, you twist a little bit deeper, but don't go too deep, it's still early. Good. And then inhale, rotate back front and center, reach your arms high. And exhale, twist to the left. Your right fingertips to your left side, your left hand behind your hip. Inhale, lengthen. And then exhale, twist just a little bit deeper. And then inhale, rotate back front and center. Reach your arms high. And exhale, come onto your hands and your knees. And let's find our box pose. So stack your shoulders, your elbows, your wrists. And bring your knees underneath your hips. And then just traditional cat-cow here for a moment. With your inhale, drop a soft belly down. Lift your chin, lift your tail. And then exhale, reverse the movement. Dome out your upper back and drop the crown of your head down. 2 more just like that. Inhale, your belly down, lift your chin, lift your tail. And exhale, your belly up. Separate your shoulder blades. Last round. Inhale, drape your belly down. And exhale, draw your belly up. Inhale, come into your neutral spine. And then exhale, curl up your toes, lift your hips up and back and find your first downward facing dog. Your feet are about hip width distance apart, hands about shoulder width distance apart. And then play around with this for a moment. Roll to the balls of your feet. Take a deep bend to your knees and then really lift your hips up and back. Good, y'all. And then maybe you pedal out your feet. And then eventually inhale, bend your knees, gaze forward. And then exhale as many steps as you need to take to bring your feet to your hands. And then inhale, lengthen your spine. Take the crown of your head forward, your tailbone back. And then exhale, ragdoll, chest to your thighs. Grab onto opposite elbows and let your head hang down and sway side to side. Breathe in and out. You can close your eyes here for a moment if you'd like. And let your hands come down to the ground. Completely exhale. And then inhale, roll all the way up to standing, taking your time. Your head's the last thing to come up. And reach your arms out and up. Find extended mountain pose. And then on the exhale, drop your left arm down and reach your right arm up and over. Inhale, take both arms to the sky. And exhale, your right arm down, your left arm reaches up and over. Inhale, both arms up, look up. Exhale, take your elbows back and down, lift your chest. If you feel this in your low back, draw the top of your navel, the top of your pubic bone up towards your navel. Pull your belly back so you're supported. And then inhale, reach your arms to the sky. Exhale, hinge at your hips and forward fold. Let the crown of your head drape down. Inhale, lengthen your spine. And then exhale, hands down, step your left foot back, and soften your left knee down to the ground. Take your time here. So in your low lunge, your right knee tracks over your heel or your ankle. Just be there. And then inhale, bring your shoulders over your hips, your arms up over your head. Perfect. Stay for a breath. Just catch your balance, get your bearings. Now that you're balancing on kind of like split legs, right? Pull the pit of your belly in and up. Now inhale, reach your arms a little bit higher and open them out. Exhale, bring your left arm underneath the right. Either hug opposite shoulders or go ahead and go palm to palm and eagle up your arms. In this space, you can stay right here and just breathe into your upper back. If you want to move a little bit with me, inhale, lift your elbows, lift your forearms, and then exhale, dome out your upper back and bring your elbows in towards your chest, your navel. 2 more times. Inhale and exhale, working into your spine. Inhale and exhale. Now inhale, lift your shoulders over your hips, unravel your arms, reach your arms high. And then exhale, bring your hands down, shift your hips back and straighten your right leg. Flex your toes back towards your shin. And the more your navel can slide towards your right thigh, the more this will allow for your right hip to pull back and your left hip to pull forward. Try to lengthen your spine. So just notice if you're rounding and bringing your nose towards your knee, think about lengthening and taking your collarbones more towards your toes. Roll your shoulders back. Excellent. On your next inhale, walk yourself back forward. Find your low lunge. And then on the exhale, curl up your back toes, lift your back knee, and float your right leg up and back to a 3-leg dog. Stay right here for your inhale. Find your balance, find your bearings. And then exhale, bend your right knee, stack your hip, yawn it open, and you can circle it out if that's your jams, or you can be still. You choose. And then you inhale, re-lengthen your right leg. And exhale, step your right foot all the way forward. Let your left heel go flat. We're going to take this nice and slow. So inhale with your right knee bent. Bring your shoulders over your hips, your arms up over your head. And then stay right here for your exhale. Draw your navel in and up towards your spine. Relax your shoulders back from your ears. Take one more inhale here. And then exhale, open yourself up, warrior 2 on the right side. Bend your right knee, gaze to your right fingertips, and relax your shoulders back and down. Good, y'all. Now let's move this just a little bit. So finding that gentle flow sensation, go ahead and flip up your palms, and on your inhale, straighten both legs. Reach your arms up overhead and let your gaze follow your right hand. And then exhale, open it back out, warrior 2. 2 more times just like that. Inhale, straighten both legs, lift your arms up overhead. And exhale, bend your right knee, open your arms. Last one. Inhale, straighten your right leg, reach your arms high. Exhale, open yourself back up. Let your palms go flat. Inhale, straighten your right leg. Maybe you shorten your stance. Bump your left hip back. Reach your right fingertips forward. You could have a block right here to the inside of your right foot. And then exhale, drop your right hand down and reach your left arm high. So if you have a block, it could look like this. Good. Your right toes, your knee are at 12 o'clock. And then typically your gaze would follow your left hand, so your drishti. This helps with your concentration, with your focus, and it also with the alignment of your neck, right? So if this bothers your neck, you're gonna just look straight forward or down to your right foot. Beautiful, y'all. On your next inhale, bend your right knee, bring your shoulders back over your hips, and then exhale, windmill your hands down so you're framing your front foot again. Slide maybe your left foot over to the left a little bit. Inhale, and then exhale, straighten your right leg. Now if you have 2 blocks, you could have one on either side of your right leg for support. If you're wishing the ground were closer to your hands, there's a way to do that, and it is by blocking up, right? So find that, make it work for you. And then just breathe here. Same thing as in your half split. The more your navel slides towards your right thigh bone, the more the right hip pulls back, the left hip forward, and everything kind of levels off and squares out, right? Breathe here. And if you notice when you're in downward facing dog that your your heels still lift a lot, press down into your big toe ball mound on the right foot right now and feel that massage at the base of your calf muscle. That's kind of what we're looking for, yeah? All right. On your inhale, bend into your right knee. And then exhale, press your palms down and step your right foot back. You're in your high plank, but inhale, come down onto your knees. And then exhale, bend your elbows, point them back, and soften all the way down to your belly. The tops of your feet are down, hands outside of your chest. Inhale, roll your shoulders back, lift your chest. And exhale, melt yourself back down. Inhale, use your spinal muscles, roll your shoulders back, lift your chest. And exhale, melt yourself back down. Last one. Inhale, roll your shoulders back, lift your chest. Maybe you float your hands and breathe. Exhale, bring your hands down to the ground. Now I'm going to use my toes and tuck them under. Inhale, pull my heart through and lift. Exhale, child's pose. Hips to the heels, reach your arms forward, and let your forehead come down. Relax your shoulders from your ears, and then roll your forehead side to side. And then come right back into center. Inhale, press up into your box pose. And exhale, curl up your toes, lift your hips up and back, and find downward facing dog. Inhale, bend into your knees. Take your gaze forward. And then exhale as many steps as you need. Take your feet to your hands. Inhale to lengthen your spine. Exhale to fold yourself down. Inhale, come all the way up to standing. Arms out and up. Reach up when you get there. And then exhale, drop your left arm down. Reach your right arm up and over. Inhale, both arms to the sky. Exhale, your right hand down, your left arm up and over. Inhale, arms up, reach like you mean it. Exhale, your elbows back and down, cactus, lift your chest. Inhale, arms up. And exhale, fold it down. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale your hands down to the ground, step your right foot back and soften your right knee down to the earth. Stay right here for a moment, get yourself comfortable. Your left knee tracks your heel or your ankle. And then inhale, bring your shoulders over your hips, your arms up over your head. Stay right here for your exhale, get comfortable, know where you're at. And whenever I say comfortable, I don't mean that everything's gonna feel perfect or great, right? Some of this might be actually uncomfortable. I want you to find comfort in that which is uncomfortable. That's kind of what I mean when I say that. Find that space where you can still be and it's not painful. Now inhale, reach your fingertips a little bit higher and then open them out. Exhale, cross your right arm underneath the left. Either hug opposite shoulders or eagle up your arms, palm to palm. Let your shoulders soften back and down. Remember, you can stay right here and breathe into this space, right? This is enough. If you want more, you can get some movement in your thoracic spine. Follow me. Inhale, lift your elbows, lift your forearms. And exhale, round, tuck your elbows in towards your navel. Inhale, lift. And exhale, curl it back in. Last one. Inhale, lift your elbows, lift your forearms. And exhale, hug it in. Now inhale, lift your shoulders back over your hips, unravel your arms, reach them out and up. And exhale, frame your front foot with your hands. And shift your hips back, straighten your front leg, flex your toes back towards your shin. You can play around with flaring your tail towards the back of your mat, or some of you might actually need to slightly tuck it under. When you do both, you kind of feel what resonates more in your physical and your subtle body, right? So pull your left hip back, your right hip forward. Breathe into the belly of your hamstring, the belly of your muscle. Amazing, y'all. Now inhale, slowly walk yourself back, forward. Rebend your left knee. Exhale your hands down, curl up your right toes, lift your right knee. Now really press your palms down, and then inhale, float your left leg up and back to your three-leg dog. And then exhale, bend your left knee, stack your hip, yawn it open. Circle out your knee. You're actually circling out your hip, the ball and socket joint, rolling it around. Now inhale, lengthen your spine, lengthen your left leg. And exhale, step your left foot forward, nice and slow. Let your right heel go flat. Inhale, bring your shoulders over your hips. Your arms up over your head. Virabhadrasana A. Just be in your warrior one here for a moment. And breathe. Angle your right toes slightly inward so you get that internal spin, that rotation of your right thigh bone. And then zip your low belly in and up. Now inhale, reach with your fingertips. And then exhale, open yourself up. Warrior two, left knee bends, tracks over the heel or the ankle. Open your arms out to a T. Angle your right toes slightly inward or at least parallel to the long edge of your mat. And then flip up your palms. Let's flow it a little bit. Inhale, straighten both legs. Reach your arms up overhead, gaze goes up. Exhale, bend your left knee, open it back out. Inhale, lengthen, reach your arms up, palms to press. Exhale, open this back out. Last one. Inhale, lengthen and lift. Exhale, bend it back in. Let your palms float back, facing down. And then inhale, straighten your left leg. Maybe you shorten your stance. Bump your right hip back. Reach your left fingertips forward. And then exhale to Utthita Trikonasana, your extended triangle pose. Your left hand can be resting on a block. Reach your right arm up to the sky. Your gaze follows your right fingertips if it's available. Breathe here. And ideally at some point in your practice, your torso begins to stack on top of your left thigh rather than sliding to the inside of it. Good. And then let it feel like your right fingertips are reaching towards the sky. They're lifting you, right? Breathe. On your next inhale, bend back into your left knee. Bring your shoulders over your hips. Open your arms out to a T. And then exhale, windmill your hands down. Frame your front foot. I slide my right foot over to the right a little bit. Inhale here. Exhale, straighten my left leg. Pyramid pose. You can have blocks on either side of your left leg. Pull your hip back, your right hip forward, and breathe. On your next inhale, bend into your left knee. And then on the exhale, step your left foot back. You're in your high plank. Now this time just hold one inhale. Exhale, lift your hips up and back to downward facing dog. Now inhale, bend your knees to look forward. And then exhale, step your feet outside of your hands. Heels in, toes out. Malasana, yogic squat, drop your hips down. Whew. Y'all, I'm feeling limited today. Which I know it might not look like it, but what I feel in my body is some limitation, some physical limitation. So you can rock side to side if it feels good. For those of you, if this is not enough, you could take one fist to the palm. You could go fist to fist. If you end up feeling like a splitting sensation pushing down in your low back, I would have you just remove your elbows and your triceps from your legs completely, right? So you don't exacerbate anything. So here for one more little round. And then let your hands come down to the ground. Inhale, lift your hips, turn your toes forward. And then exhale, heel toe your feet closer together and forward fold. Inhale to lengthen your spine. And then exhale, hands down, step your feet back, and then bring your knees to the ground and lower all the way to your belly. All right, y'all. So this is a little move for those of you from the Dallas area that I got from Amy Johnson, because it's something that we actually, even though it's a gentle flow and stretch, that we need to work, right? So let your forehead come down. And your hands can even come down by the side body, palms face down or up, whatever feels better. Now keep your hip bones and your pubic bone pressing down, making contact with the mat. And then as you inhale, lift your right leg, just your right leg. Release your right glute if you can, but try to keep your left hip down, your right hip down, your pubic bone down. And lift until you feel it kind of catch. If you feel this in your low back, take the top of your pubic bone and draw it slightly upward. One more inhale. And then exhale, place your right foot back down on the floor. Release out however you need. And then move to the left side. Inhale, lift your left leg. Breathe. Hips and pubic bone down on the ground. Take one more inhale, and then exhale, place your left foot down to the earth. Now your hands come back to the mat or to the floor outside of the mat, palms face down. Roll your shoulders back, keep your toes pressing down, and inhale, just lift your chest and breathe. Take one more inhale. And then exhale, bring your chest down, hands outside of your shoulders. Inhale, roll your shoulders back, lift your chest. And then exhale, take your hips to your heels for your child's pose. Reach your arms forward, let your forehead come down. And you can roll your forehead side to side if you like it. And then inhale, press up into your box pose. And then exhale, lift your hips up and back to downward facing dog. Inhale, float your right leg up to the sky. And then exhale, bring your right knee directly between your thumbs. So a little bit different today. You're gonna slide your left leg back and then allow for your right foot to kind of come towards your pubic bone. So rather than moving into a half pigeon, they call this a sleeping swan. So your belly's gonna actually rest on your right leg. And then you take your heart forward, drape your belly on top of your leg, and maybe your forehead comes down. Some of you are going to feel this a lot, and others not so much, right? Let the weight on top of your right leg kind of increase, intensify whatever's happening for you. Close your eyes, relax your brow and your jaw. And then if you need your traditional half pigeon, you can bring your hands underneath your shoulders, roll slightly over to the right so that you can bring your right shin up. You can also stay in that sleeping swan variation. If you're moving into your half pigeon, pull your left hip forward, your right hip back. Walk yourself forward and melt down. Your arms can reach forward, out, back. Notice if you're gritting your teeth or drawing your eyebrows towards one another. And breathe. All right, y'all. Slide your hands back back underneath your shoulders. Roll your shoulders back, lift your chest. This is your inhale. And on the exhale, roll to the right and bring your left leg out in front of you. Now, take your right leg out to the diagonal and bring the sole of your left foot towards your right inner thigh. Inhale, reach your arms out and up. And then exhale, take your right arm inside your right calf and reach your left arm up and over. Breathe. And then on your inhale, bring your shoulders back up over your hips. Exhale, drop your left hand behind your left hip. Inhale, swing your right arm forward. Lift onto your left palm, your left knee, your left shin. Your right foot goes flat. And then you can roll your right shoulder out by making circles with your right arm. You can go in the opposite direction as well. And then slowly sit yourself down. Cross your feet at the ankles. However you need to get back into your inverted letter V, your downward facing dog, get there. It's all good. Hips high. And then inhale, float your left leg up to the sky. On the exhale, bring your left knee in between your thumbs. And then let your left foot, kind of like your heel, come towards your pubic bone. Your right leg extends long behind you. And then drape your chest on top of your right thigh. Melt yourself down. Now your hands can kind of do whatever you need them to do. On this side, I do need a little bit more assistance holding myself up. So my hands are just down on the ground, kind of framing my body. Let yourself get heavy and melty on top of your left leg. You might really feel this in your hip, your outer glute. Relax your shoulders. And then if at any point you would prefer to move into your half pigeon, you lift your chest and roll slightly over to the left. And then bring your left shin up to the degree that feels appropriate for you. And then you wrap your right hip forward, pull your left hip back, and then melt down. Forehead to the ground. Arms either forward, out, or back. You choose. As you breathe in, you know you're breathing in. And as you breathe out, you know you're breathing out. Take about 3 more breaths in whichever shape you are still in. Bring your hands out in front of your chest. Inhale to lift your shoulders, lift your chest, roll slightly to the left as you exhale. Bring your right leg out in front of you. And then I'm going to have you switch it. So take your left leg out to the diagonal and bring your right foot, the sole, in towards your inner thigh. Inhale, reach your arms up overhead. And then exhale, take your left forearm down inside of your left calf. Reach your right arm up and over and get that side body stretch again. Keep your right hip heavy, rooted. Maybe this is helping with your QL, right? So kind of really reach and get that whole stretch all the way down the side, wrapping into the low back. On your next inhale, lift your shoulders up over your hips, your arms up overhead. Exhale, drop your right hand back behind your right hip, and then inhale, swing your left arm forward. Press up onto your right hand, your right knee, your right shin, your left foot goes flat. And then maybe you circle out your left shoulder, your arm. You can go in both directions if you choose. And then slowly sit yourself down. All right, y'all. Bring your feet onto the mat. They're about hip width distance apart, your knees pointing up. Take an inhale. And then exhale, roll yourself down just one vertebra at a time. Leave your knees bent. And then I'm going to give you this option, and you can also just skip it, right? So it's all good. But maybe you take your right arm and you slide the forearm underneath your low back, right? And then you release your hips back down. If you could go a little bit more, could you maybe reach your right fingertips, up towards your shoulder blades, right? So your right arm would then be like kind of like at a diagonal underneath you. I want you to be gentle. Let your hips rest back down onto the ground. And then no forcing, but take your left fingertips and run them across your right clavicle from the center, so more towards like the center of your throat, out towards your shoulder, and make it really light though, so you're not pressing deeply. And then you get to that little knot on the front of your shoulder, and can you gently roll it down? Now, I'm not worried about your right shoulder getting flat down on the mat, but just moving into that more of an external rotation, right? And as you can see, my knees are starting to fall over because I started really focusing on my shoulder. Keep your knees pointing up and your feet flat, but just gently move all of that stuff outward. I even feel pressing slightly into the front of my shoulder, how that goes all the way into my forearm. Breathe here for a few more breaths. And then gently bring your left elbow down to the ground. Lift your hips maybe so that you can release your right arm out from underneath you. Oh my Lord. Woo. And then just let your right hand come down to the ground. Let's switch sides. Inhale, lift your hips. It could just be the forearm coming down underneath your hips with your palm face down, right? If that's enough, you stay right there because you kind of know where we're going with this now, right? If fingertips up towards your shoulder blades feels like a great idea, then maybe you do that. And then rest yourself back down. When you're ready, right hand comes to your clavicles, starting at the internal, right? And then moving distally. So take your fingertips across your collarbone towards your shoulder. And it is very, very gentle, y'all. This little baby pressure of opening. Like you're moving in the direction of getting your shoulder to go flat, but we're not really trying to make it flat, right? We're just, that's the direction we're moving in. Breathe. And then gently release your right elbow down to the ground. Inhale, lift your hips, slide your left arm out from underneath you. And maybe shake out both hands. Let that go. Now, grab onto your block if you choose. Press your feet down into the ground. Inhale to lift your hips and then slide a block underneath your sacrum, right? And stay right here for this supported bridge for just a moment or two. Find the space that resonates with you. You might go a little bit higher onto the second level, right? But you don't have to. Stay as gentle as you want. You can even skip the block altogether. And then maybe when you're ready, your hands can be down or on your belly. You take one foot up into the sky at a time for a supported waterfall. I normally would say for supported waterfall to be on the lowest level of your block, just because it's going to be the most supportive, least likely to roll out from underneath you. Take one more inhale here. And then exhale, let your feet come down to the ground. Press them down, lift your hips. Slide the block out from underneath you. Now your feet are about hip-width distance apart, or a little bit wider. Windshield wiper your knees from side to side. And the next time your knees come through center, hug them in towards your chest. Wrap your arms around your shins and bring your forehead up to your knees. Take an inhale. And then exhale, just open up into your Shavasana. Let your legs extend forward. Your feet hang comfortably open. And then your arms come down by the side, body palms face up. Relax your brows and your jaw. And rest. Y'all, if what you need is to be here a little bit longer, I want you to stay exactly where you are. You're at home or wherever else, right? And just rest, be there, as long as you possibly can. If you are ready, begin to deepen your breath, to wiggle your fingers and your toes. And on your inhale, float your arms up overhead, find your full body stretch. And on your exhale, hug your knees in towards your chest and wrap your arms around your shins. And you'll roll over to the right or rock up to your comfortable, easy sit, just right where you are. Take your time getting there, and then once you do get there, roll your shoulders back, sit up nice and tall. And take that final moment, that pause, to be grateful for your body, for what it does for you today, to be hopeful for tomorrow. Thank you all so much for taking some time out for yourself, for your mat, for your health, right? It's important. So I will see you next week. Have a great rest of your day whenever you do take this. Namaste.